Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Ratliff Mandolins weekly production diary. It is episode 164 and the footage that you are watching right now is of me working the wood from Pennsylvania down into necks. I'm going to go through all of the steps and the processes to take just the board and make necks out of them. And so I'll just let that footage run for a little while and you can see me take those things all the way out to the end where they are ready pretty much to glue into the mandolin. Now the next thing that needs to be done is to make sure that the keys fit the way you want them to. And there's 2 points that really need to be addressed. Is how the key shafts fit into the peg head. So you want to make sure they go in and just fall in without any binding or pinching. You know, you don't want to force them, they should just go.
So that's been checked on all of these necks. And then the next thing that you want to check is to make sure you have access, even access to all of the buttons, and sand these peg heads down smooth, not necessarily up here, but at least here, smooth and shaped into the right shape so that everything can be accessed. So the keys do not bind in the holes. So each button should be about equal easiness to turn and equal easiness to get to. And then I mark them, as you can see, with KC'd Grover, which means that they've been key checked. The keys have been put in, everything is taken care of, and I've done that for Grover tuners. So that's the way I mark them all the time. Okay, these are, of course, the necks that come out of the board from Pennsylvania, and I have indeed picked one. This one right here, penciled on it, mandolin number 3. This is the neck that's going to go in the mandolin for the guy that sent the board, mandolin number 3. So that's those necks. Now that wasn't the only project that that I tackled this week. There's a whole bunch of different jobs, little bits of things here and there that we're taking care of this week. And I took video each time I did something that I thought was important enough to document. So let's take a look at some of the other things that got done around the shop this week. This is mandolin number 2, and I have the last piece of binding wrapped on mandolin number 2. I'm going to sand it all clean and everything and take this thing out of the mold and put mandolin number 3 here and start its binding job next. Now I have the top on mandolin number 2 all slicked down, sanded down to 100, all shaped. The scroll has been recarved, and except for cleaning up the F-holes, which I'm getting ready to do, this thing is ready for the neck. But I'm not going to put the neck in just yet. As soon as this thing comes out of this mold, I'm going to put mandolin number 3 in and start the binding process on it. And when I get the first piece of binding wrapped on mandolin number 3, then we're going to go back and put the neck in mandolin number 2. So anyway, let me clean these F-holes up and we'll move on. And indeed, I have moved on. The F-holes of mandolin number 2 are cleaned up. And this is mandolin number 3, all trussed up with the first piece of binding glued on. So now it's time to go back to mandolin number 2 and put that neck in. Now here are all the jigs and fixtures and tools that I'm going to need to put this neck in this mandolin. The neck for number 2, mandolin number 2. now there's the neck glued in mandolin number 2. I'm going to put it in the box so that it can wait its next step. And that next step will be putting the back on. So I'm going to work on these pilot backs here for the rest of the day. And by the way, just so that you'll know, the top for mandolin number 4 is still right here, and it's going to get run the same time these backs are. So that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my day. It is now Thursday morning, and I have glued the next pieces of binding on mandolin number 3. I have finally glued up all of these pieces of headstock overlay, so I think I'm going to take an hour or two to run them through the sander and thickness them down to, I don't know, probably 65 or 70 thousandths, something like that, and stack them up so that we can use them in the future. And now all of these overlays are sanded. I'm going to put them in this press thing that I have and press them all flat so they stay that way until the time comes to use them. And now it is Friday afternoon, and I have just got back from town. I'm putting a new motor on my fret slotting machine, and bought the motor, and you have no idea how difficult it is to find a pulley to put on an electric motor. I went to about 4 different places today, and finally found one at a place that rewinds armatures and electric motors and things. They had a good supply of pulleys. So I'm going to fix an issue that I've had for a long time, which is that anytime I run my fret slot cutter, I would take the motor off of the big drum sander and put it over on the fret slotter, use it, put it back. Well, I'm getting about too old to handle that big old heavy motor anymore, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy a motor and put it on that fret slot cutter and leave it there. And so I bought the motor unknowingly, or I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to find the proper size pulleys and stuff to mount that motor on that machine. But it's taken me pretty much all morning, but I have the proper size pulleys now. And so that's probably going to be one of my weekend projects this week, is to put a new motor on my fret slotting machine, because of all of these mandolins right here. I have plenty of fretboards, but none of them are slotted, and I'm going to have to slot some fretboards really soon. So I'm trying to take care of an issue before it really becomes an issue. Having said that, I will close this video off right now. Thank you so much for watching to the very end, and come back each and every week to join us here at the Ratliff Mandolins workshop on our Ratliff Mandolins weekly production diary series. My name is Audie. Hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind. Please tell your friends, and please leave me some comments. I always appreciate the comments when people have something to say or something to share. I appreciate that. I really do. So leave me a comment, and we will look forward to seeing you in the future.